Greetings. I presume you know about EFT. If you don't, check the box below for more details on what EFT is and how it functions. In the meantime, just do as I do and copy along. Tapping on the side of the hand. Even though everybody's a critic, I deeply, completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though everybody likes to be critical, I deeply, completely, compassionately love and accept myself. Even though there's a lot of critics out there, I deeply, completely, compassionately forgive them. Even though somebody died and they decided that they're going to be God instead, and they're going to take over and dominate, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Who are they? Who do they think they are? All this judgment and criticism. I deeply, completely love, accept, and forgive myself. Even though there's a lot of critics out there in the world, a lot of people who think they know how you should live your life, and they have lots of judgments and opinions about how everybody else should live their life because they've got it mastered perfectly. And despite all of this criticism in the world, I deeply, completely love, accept, and forgive myself, and I choose to be at peace with myself, knowing that their criticism has nothing to do with me. All this criticism in the world, everybody's a critic. Everybody likes to say, hey, I know what's best for you. I know what's best for everybody else. I'm going to criticize and be critical. There's a lot of critics in the world. Somebody died. Who made them God? Who decided they were the ones with all the power? Who said they had all the knowledge? Did they really read every book in the world? Did they truly take every course out there? They can't possibly know everything about everything. So who are they to judge? Who are they to criticize? They're not perfect. They might like to think they are, but they're quick to judge. They're going to point their fingers out there and look at them. Hey, you, what are you doing? You're making a mess of things. But do they really know what's really going on? They really don't. They take a little slice of the pie and they assume they know the whole thing, but they don't have the whole story. They don't know what's really going on. They don't have all the facts. Nobody has all the facts. Somehow we have to piece the information together. But they have an opinion and they think their opinion is perfectly and accurately right. And if you challenge them on it or question them about it and say, hey, have you considered this? They're probably quick to dismiss you. And that dismissiveness, that defensiveness, only reinforces the fact that they don't really know, that they're probably shaky in their position. Because people that are truly open minded, they're not threatened by you questioning them. They're happy to explain, they're happy to elaborate. But people that are closed minded, that are extremely critical just for the sake of being critical, they're not interested in another story. They're not interested in looking at things beyond what they've already seen. They don't want more information. They don't want to elaborate their perspective. They don't want to learn more. They just want to be critical. They just want to be opinionated. They just want to be right. I'm going to dominate. I'll tell you what I think is right. Everybody's a critic. Oh God, everybody's a critic. Everybody likes to be so critical, so quick to judge. They don't have all the information, but they've got an opinion, and that opinion is usually a judgment. You're bad, you're wrong. But are they really? Is there that many people messing up things up? No, we're just living life. But some people like to be critical because everybody's a critic. And the people that are the most critical usually have the least amount of information. Because if you have information, you don't need to be critical. You know your position, and you can be at peace with your position. And you can express something or not. And you can just say, okay, this is where I'm at. You don't need to be critical. They don't need to be critical. They could be informative. They could be educational. But that would take something. That would take a higher level of knowledge and awareness and insight to change from being a critical to being an educator. But some people would rather just be a critic. It's easier to judge others. When we judge others, we make ourselves look better, but not really. We have to question ourselves if we're so critical. There's a lot of insecurity in the world, so much insecurity, and that's why everybody's a critic. So let's be a critic. Maybe we don't want to be a critic. We could be critical. We don't have to be critical. We could judge. We can condemn. How dare you? Or we can go, oh, that's interesting. Different perspective, another way of seeing things. It's just what it is. No right or wrong. No good or bad. Just effective and ineffective. And that depends upon what the goal is. What's effective for one person might be ineffective for someone else. I might say, hey, this works for me, and that's okay. I don't need you to do what you're doing. I don't need you to do what I'm doing. I don't need to do what you're doing. There's no right or wrong way. Nobody's a critic. Everybody's a critic. Nobody needs to be a critic. We can all just be observers, learning and living, being at peace with how we live our life, role modeling what's best, and letting everyone else decide for themselves. Because if we're too critical, they usually push people to being rebellious. And then we're not getting anywhere. We're not educating people, and we're just adamant, standing in. So let's just let it go. Letting go of the critic within me, letting go of the critic within others, letting go of all this criticism, letting go of all this judgment, just releasing the critic, letting it go, releasing the critic, releasing the critic, releasing the critic. Take a deep breath. Thanks for joining me.